Welcome student. Today I am going to discuss wait, notify and notify all method in details. In previous lecture we have already discussed what is the purpose of wait and notify method, why we need this method, how two thread will communicate with each other with the help of wait and notify method. In this lecture we will discuss about the syntax of wait method at notify and notify all method. After that I will discuss about a simple program so that you can understand it very well how to use wait and notify method in our coding example. And I'll also discuss about the impact of wait and notify method in our thread life cycle. So let's start with the syntax of wait method. Public final void wait method, and we have another one wait method, that is public final native void long millisecond. Okay. Suppose two threads are waiting for each other, right? So if I use the first one method, so first wait method, what will happen? So there is no end. How many times the thread will be waiting? There is no specification or specific time for this first method. So there is another method, that is native method. So it is not in Java, it is implemented by operating system. So this is the native method we can use. Native void wait then long millisecond, right? So we can go for the next one. So where we have to give some integer time. So for example 2000, so for that means 2 seconds. So we can use this native method also. And we have another method for wait method, that is public final void wait long millisecond is one of the argument. Another argument is integer nanosecond, ns nanosecond. So we have three method. Okay. So that means wait method is overloaded. We have no argument wait method, we have a one argument wait method, and we have two argument wait method. And we know that whenever a wait method it call or go for the waiting state, then immediately it will release a lock. And it may be happen that in case of any thread which is waiting in waiting state interrupted by some other thread also. So in that sense, so it may be interrupted. So every thread will throw an exception. So we can say that the every thread will, we have to write throw interrupted exception, throws interrupted exception. So right. So public final void, that is the full signature of the wait method. Public final void wait throws interrupted exception. Public final native void wait long millisecond interrupted throws interrupted exception. Similarly, this one throws interrupted exception. This is the full signature of wait method. Now come to the notify method. We have only one method for notify method, only one method signature, that is public final native void notify. And second one is public final native void notify all. We know that whenever we call a notify method, there is no need to release the lock immediately. So that means there is no chance of interrupt exception. So that is why this method is don't throw an interrupted exception. So this is only this is the method which is except interrupted exception in notify all. So when we call the wait method, there may be a chance of interrupted exception. That is why every method is followed by throws interrupted exception in case of wait method, but in case of notify method we do not need any interrupted exception. So this is the full signature of this notify and notify one method. So we have 5 method, 3 method for the wait method, and wait method is overloaded, and notify and notify all, these are the 5 methods. Now let us see what is the impact of wait method or when a thread call his wait method. We know that whenever a thread wants to call wait method, it needs a object lock or a wait method, notify all method, it inside a object class. So what will impact in our thread life cycle? So let us see, we have already know the thread transition diagram, where we have seen that when a thread is created by instance, so that is new or born state, and when you get a chance, or we can say call t dot start method, it will go in ready or runnable state. And then after that, if a thread scheduler allocate the process, then it will enter into a running state, and if run method is complete, is enter into a dead state, right. Up to this point is clear, we have already done so many times. Now come to wait method. So when a running thread call a wait method on obj.wait, or it may be a obj.wait 1000 millisecond, so that means 1 second, or it may be 1000 millisecond followed by 100 nanosecond. So what will happen? It immediately enter into a waiting state, right. Sorry. Now question is, when a thread got notified, what will happen? Whether it will enter into a ready state or running state, or ready or unable state, or whether it will go to the running state. So let me, so which one is right? After waiting state, if a thread is notified by other thread, what will happen? It will enter a ready state or unable state, or it will directly got the chance of running state. Clear? Which one is correct? Both are incorrect. So whenever a thread will be notified by some other thread, then he never enter into a ready or unable state directly, even it is not enter into a running state. So what will happen? It will, if the waiting thread, if it will enter another waiting state, it will enter another waiting state. Why? Because you know that whenever we are calling wait and notify method, we always told, I have already discussed you that wait method and notify method has to be called in synchronized area. That means the method belongs to synchronize, or you can say synchronized method. So whenever we are talking about the synchronized method, that means if a thread wants to execute this method again, what will happen? We need the lock of this method, or we need the object lock. So how do I get the lock? It does not, when we notify this method, it automatically get the lock. So that's why he will be waiting, the thread will be waiting in another waiting state to get the lock, right? And when waiting state, when the thread will be enter to waiting state to another waiting state, if there are three options, it may be waiting time is expire, or we can say second point we can say the thread is notified by some other thread, or third option is when it got an interpret. So when a thread in waiting state, then if the waiting time is expired, then it enter into another waiting state, or when it is notified by some other thread, or it is interrupted by some other thread. So there are three options, right? So then it will enter to another waiting state and waiting for get the lock. After getting the lock, if waiting thread get lock, then it move back to the, or back to the ready or runnable state. So if waiting thread get lock, waiting thread get lock. If waiting thread get lock, then it will enter into a ready or runnable state again. Then if the process will be continue, if the thread scheduler allocate this process, then it continue in the running state, right? Move into the running state and it will continue his process. So that is the impact of wait method in our thread life cycle. So that is the complete life cycle picture. So when a thread is called wait method, it immediately enter into wait state, but before going into the waiting state, it has to release the lock, and after get notify, again he has to get the lock to enter into a ready or runnable state, right? That is the impact of wait, notify and notify all method, right? So now take a simple example so that you can understand how the wait, notify all method will be executed. Before that, I will explain so many differences between all those methods. If I use wait, what will happen? If I use instead of wait join method, so what will happen, like that. So let us first take an example. So let us have a class, the class name is, for example, thread A. Right, within the class, public static void main string args, you know that args, and within my main thread, I have create another class object. So my, or you can write thread B B equal to new my thread. So thread B equal to new thread B. Okay. Then if I call b dot start method, so let me write the other class also. What is the class name? Thread B. So we have a one of the class name is thread A, another class name is thread B. Class thread B. So within that, suppose I have a value int total. Total is my instance variable whose value, initial value is 0. So within that, it is my thread class which will extend. So in this class only one thread is present, up to this point is one thread is present, but when we call b dot start method, how many thread are present? 2 thread, one thread main thread, and I will create another thread, that is child thread. So class thread extend thread class, right? So within that we have to override the run method, the public void run, and within run method, suppose I am just taking a for loop where I equal to 0, or you can say int I equal to 1 and I less than equal to 100 I plus plus. So suppose I want to calculate the first 100 number. So total equal to total plus I, right? So my run method is complete and my class is complete. So here suppose I want to get the total of, so this portion is called execute by how, which thread, that this portion is executed by child thread, okay, and this is my main thread, and I want the update from child thread. So I want to system dot out dot println, I want the total number, so b dot total, okay. So this static method, public static void main method is complete, then class is complete. Now tell me that what will happen here. No method is synchronized, right? No method is synchronized. So first what will happen, when b dot start, the child thread will be executed. So this is my child thread, this is my child thread. So run method will be executed. I will get integer I equal to 1, I less than equal to 100, I plus plus, that means the loop will be continue 100 times, and I will get total equal to 0, 0 plus 1, then 1 plus 2, then whatever the result plus 3. In this way I will get the total. What is the total value actually? If number of turn is n, then I will know that n minus 1 by 2. So if here it is 100, so 100, so 100 minus 1, n into n plus 1 by 2. So 100 into 100 1 by 2, so that is 5050, right? That will be the output after that. So what will happen? So it automatically call the child thread for loop will be executed, and I will get the total equal to 5050, one of the output maybe. But what will happen if the child thread is not executed? Automatically first main thread is the executed first, because I do not know main thread and child thread are automatically executed, simultaneously executed. So which thread will get chance, I do not know. So it depends on the thread scheduler. Suppose assume that the main thread got the chance, so b dot total, so that means it will get the output 0, and if the main child thread completed, then what will be the output? 5050. Or it may be happen that, so one of the output may be 0, another output may be 5050, and it may be happen that child thread got chance to execute his for loop for 10 times, and after that the main thread got the chance. So I will get in a result in between any number. So what will, for example, the number may be greater than equal to 0, but it less than equal to 5050, right? So I will get any of the result. I will get 0 or I will get 5050 the final result, or I will get any in between end result. Now the question is, how do I solve this problem? Let me take another example and let me use sleep method, because we know that sleep method. So if I use straight dot sleep method, for example 10 seconds, so 10,000 millisecond, right, and we have to use throws exception. So I have to use the throws exception, because whenever we want to call we have to use the throws keyword, throws interrupted exception, right, because we are just calling the sleep method. Now what will happen, whether I will get the same thing or not. So let me analyze this code. B dot start, when called, see automatically the child thread, if got the chance, it will complete its execution. But after that, if the child thread is not executed, so it will delay for 10 seconds. So wasting of time, yes or no? Wasting of time. Then it will got the chance for child thread. So sleep method is not a solution at all. So let me consider another example. Let consider, comment this line, I want to use join method, because we know that. So I will call join method, because this is my main thread. First I will want to update from child thread, right. So if I call join method, so what will happen? So join method, so b dot start, then it will call b dot join method. So that means first this thread will be executed, child thread will be executed, then it will enter into a thread dot sleep method, then I will get system dot out dot println b dot total. So after completing child thread, I will get the output, that is okay. So that means I will get the output 5050, no problem. Suppose we have a 1 crore line here, or suppose we have a 1 lakh line of code after that for loop, but I am only expecting the total value, right. So if I use the join method, so first child thread will be completed, then it will join at the end of this method. So that means after completing total by calculating the total value in this for loop, then 1 lakh line of code will be executed, and then it will back to this main thread, then it will print b dot total, and we always get the 5050 output, right. So now here we already got the expecting total, that means total is already calculating, but I have to wait to complete the 1 lakh lines also, or 10 lakhs lines also code. So it is also decrease my performance. So join method is not a solution. Even if I want to get any intermediate result, that is also not possible in join method, because join method will always give the which output, the final output. So it's not a solution. So what is the alternative solution? So let me comment this line also. Now suppose I want to use join method. So I want to use wait method. So why? Because we already know that this thread which is waiting for updation has to call the wait method. Here the main thread is waiting for updation, so that's why I will call the wait method here, b dot wait, okay. And after completing my total, it will notify. So this dot notify method we have to call from child thread. So what will happen? So after calculating the total value, this thread will be notified and I will get the output, correct output what I am expecting, right. So, the method which is waiting for updating is called the wait method, and the method who will notify or update, then it is called wait notify method. So, it will call this dot notify and it will call p dot wait method. Now, is that okay? Is there any correct output? According to our everything is all right, but is there any is the code is right or wrong, or is there anything wrong with this code? Of course, there is a wrong. Please remember that in the previous lecture I have already discussed about that whenever we have to call wait method or notify method, that part of the code of this wait method or notify method we can only call from synchronize area. Otherwise, I will get a runtime exception that is illegal monitored state exception. Right. So, if I don't call my wait method or notify method inside a synchronized block, then I will get an exception that is called illegal state exception. So, obviously, every time when we are going to call my wait method or notify method, we have to call within a synchronize. So, what will happen? We have to synchronize this block of code. So, when I want to get the output, so I have to synchronize this method. Here I want to synchronize this one. So, I will not use the entire method because this part of the code is just only for modification. So, I will use synchronize this, right, and this part of the code will be enter into a synchronized block. So, synchronize this for integer I equal to 0, I less than 100, total equal to total plus I, then this dot notify. And here I am just expecting update. So, I will call with the synchronize on which block and which object B. So, I will write synchronize B. Understand? Then we will put system dot out dot println B dot total. Now it is okay. Now I will get the output. So, I will no waste any time. So, there is a no wasting of time, because whenever the complete calculation is completed, it will automatically notify this thread, okay, and total will be printed, right. That is all about this example. So, we will see in a coding example also. And one more thing I would like to say, what is the difference between the notify and notifiable? Notify and notifiable. Notify method versus notifiable method. What is the difference? You know that when a method in running state, okay, running, when it is called in waiting state, when you call the wait method, waiting state. So, when waiting state got the notification from this one, move to the another state, and which thread will be notified? So, in case of notify, only one thread will be notified, that is right, who is waiting for this object or object lock, that will be notified. But in case of notify all, what will happen? If currently let's say currently 100 thread are waiting, 100 thread are waiting in the waiting list. So, we will get notified, and suppose out of 100 thread, out of 100 thread, 60 thread are waiting for getting the lock of A, and 40 thread are waiting to get the lock of object B. So which one will be notified? It will notify only the thread which has been locked for this application. So if a thread is waiting for object B or get the lock of B, then only 40 thread will be notified, not all the thread. So notify all means the thread which are waiting in waiting state to get the lock on object B. If it is waiting for object A, then 60 thread will be notified, not all the thread, remaining thread will be as it is, right. So the thread which are waiting and waiting state for a particular object lock, that thread will be notified. Okay. If B dot notify means B will release the thread which are waiting in waiting state, all 40 thread will be notified, not all the thread. So that is the basic difference between notify and notify all. Okay, let us see an example so that you can understand it well. Let us start with the coding example of wait, notify, notify all. So I have taken two class. One of the class, this is my main class. So public static void main, and within this main class I have created object of class B, thread B. This is the class. This is extend thread class. So it will create, or we can say this is my child thread. So when B dot start method will call, when the B dot start method will call, then when the B dot start method is called, then this run method will be executed. This run method will be executed in this, right? Okay. So within run method we have I have taken int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 100, I plus plus, and total equal to total plus I. Initial value of total equal to 0, and total equal to total plus I means I will get the from 1 to 100 number, summation of 1 to 100 number. Okay, the loop will be continue 100 times. So let me execute that. Before that and after that I will call system.out.println b dot total, right, this line b dot total. So that means it will call the total value, or it will expecting updation from my child thread for loop. Okay, so this one expecting from here. Okay, so let me execute this, then after that I will modify. So let me execute this. What is the output? So output is 0, because we know that here b dot start is executed simultaneously. That means child thread will be executed first, or otherwise simultaneously main thread will get the chance. In this example, or in this output, you can say that main thread got the chance first. So b dot total, the initial value of total is 0, so that's why we got the output 0. Now let me use a split method, so whenever we use the split method, please keep that in mind, we have to use throw IO exception, right? Throw IO exception, that is important. Whenever we are going to use split method, we have to use throw IO exception, interpret exception, right? So now let me execute this code. Yes, 5050. Why? Because when we call b dot start method, and when the main thread got the chance, thread dot sleep for 2 seconds. In between, in between the thread B start execution. So for loop will be executed and total equal to total plus I, that means I will get the final output of total 5050. To know that, we have already explained how we get the 5050, and after that we just get the total. That's why that is the output 5050, right? So instead of sleep method, if I use join method, so let me execute the join method also. So if I use the join method, b dot join, it's not a solution, we have already explained that. So let me execute here. So always I will get the output 5050. Always I will get the output 5050 every time. But if I expecting any in between value, we will never get that. So that's why if we use wait method instead of that, so that means if I call the wait method, then what will happen? From this method we have to notify. So this dot notify, this dot notify, right? So you know that. So who will going to notify? Because this thread B is going to updating the value, so that's why I will call on this parent object this dot notify method from thread B class, and thread A once update, so that's why it will call wait method in thread A class. So we know that whenever who is expecting updation has to call the wait method, and who is performing updation has to call notify method. So let me, what will happen? So it will give an illegal monitor state exception. I have already explained why, because I have not used any synchronized method. So let me execute that, whether it is getting error or not. Yes, I am getting illegal monitor state exception. Look at this, illegal monitor state exception, illegal monitor state exception, this one, right? So what I have to do, what we need to do, we need to do to synchronize this method. I don't want to synchronize this method, I just want to make a synchronized block. So that's why I have to use synchronize, because I already discussed that whenever we want to call wait and notify methods, we have to call synchronize, we have to call synchronize this, within that I have to call, right? I have to give another line to complete this one. Now it is okay. Let me correct it. This synchronize this, within this is for loop, this is the close of synchronized block. Yes, this is run method, this is what it is. And here this method is going to updation, so I have to use synchronize on, and which object? P, because it is waiting to updation. Yes, this is synchronized block, this is public, this is okay. Now it is okay. Synchronize on this. So let me execute. Illegal monitor state exception unknown. Let me check why it is wrong. Or let me check, or wait method must be in synchronized block. make it in synchronized block so that we can make it correct. Now it is okay. So let me execute. Yes, I am getting 5050. So this program demonstrates how to use wait and modify method. Hope you understand. Thank you.